Can anyone be a high pony girl?
Anyone can be a high pony girl.
Oh, okay.
Anyone can be a high pony girl. High
does it
pony
take?
women to step out of like lack energy.
Yeah.
When you're a high pony girl, you're not in lack. You're creator mode. You're not lack mode, not victim mode.
No way.
You're creating. That's a high pony girl.
Oh.
Ponies up. Pony. Cheers.
Oh, hi, ponies up.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Amanda Cordner, Amanda, 5 and 6, Toronto local. Welcome to another episode of All Roads Lead to Magic City.
Magic City.
Magic City. We have a new guest, Allana Davis. Allana Davis is the visionary owner of Allana Davis Studio, a medically directed facial spa in Toronto's Yorkville. With over 2 decades of experience in the beauty industry, Allana has perfected the blend of skincare and transformative energy work through her second healing business, Allana, to empower and uplift her clients. Allana Davis Studio is at the forefront of breaking barriers in skincare for people of color with My Melanin, a variety of curated and customized facial treatments for Black, South Asian, Indigenous, and Hispanic skin. Beyond her thriving business, she is a savvy investor in innovative products, AI tech startups, and philanthropy. Allana's mission is to leverage her business expertise to create opportunities and access for individuals from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds. I want to welcome you
Thank you.
to All Roads Lead to Magic City.
Woo.
Another guest.
I love
another
Magic
life.
City.
You've been?
No, but okay, so have you ever seen Players Club?
No.
You haven't seen... Girl, how are you talking about Magic City? You haven't seen Players Club with Lisa Ray, Ice Cube?
I gotta get on it.
Okay, Players Club was about this young woman who was working at a shoe store, and these 2 like sexy ass strippers come in, and she's like watching them, and she's like, damn, these girls got coin.
Yeah.
So then they end up like, checking her out, Lisa Ray. I mean, come on. And she ends up becoming a stripper at a place called Players Club. And this is like a story about like the strip club, and there's like some sad parts to it, but yeah, Players Club and Lisa Ray had a legendary strip scene.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hot. And then after that, I was like, oh, I'm like Googling all these like strip clubs in Atlanta, and I found like Magic City, Blue Flame, and I was just like intrigued by like the way that these women can move their bodies.
Right?
Yeah.
I truly see the liberation in the freedom of movement and expression, ultimate expression.
Yeah, and owning your shit. There's another show that I've been watching called P-Valley. You haven't seen P-Valley either?
No, is that another?
Amanda, you need to get on
Well,
this
give
shit.
me a list.
Okay, P-Valley you need to watch tonight.
Okay.
I think there's like 2 seasons, and it's about a strip club in the South. And these strippers, oh my God, the way like this upper body strength that
That's
it takes
what
to
I'm
be a
saying.
stripper is
Yes.
insane. And the confidence that it takes to be a stripper is
And we're talking
nuts.
elites.
Oh my God.
performers.
Yeah. No one's hating on a stripper anymore. It's 2024.
Exactly.
Back in the day, people would be like, oh my gosh, she's a stripper.
That is so beneath.
Yeah. It's like, no, girl, she's a stripper, honey.
Well, especially for Black women, we're already portrayed as hypersexual in media, in our stories.
Yeah.
So there is a part of me too that puts that part down of like, oh, is there anything else that I could be doing? Why do I have to lean into this stereotype?
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's thanks to, that's not all me.
No, of course. Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
And so I want to move past that and find that liberation as well.
It's interesting that you say that, right? It's like all of these like mindsets and like these narratives that have been placed on us, especially as women of color, that now we're like owning, it's like,
have to.
Being Southeast Asian, Indian, Pakistani, it's like, what are all these limitations that were placed on me since like my childhood or through like Bollywood movies and just like growing up, and now I'm starting to release all that. I'm a successful woman, and I have my own stuff going on, but I'm married. I'm also a wife. I'm a aunt. I'm a sister. I'm all of the things.
Yes,
and that's okay. We don't have to just be in the backgrounds. Yeah, be in the backgrounds.
And it's okay to be a star and run an empire, create an empire, make money.
Yes.
Unapologetically.
Yeah. That part.
Yeah. How do you
Make money.
it? Unapologetically.
Getting out of that lack mindset.
How do you get out of lack mindset, Allana?
Fuck.
Tell me everything.
I guess the podcast has started. You know what it was? Honestly, when I was with, shout out to Monica Mustelier. Her and I have known each other for decades. Like, this is like sister vibes. So it's like, when we were linking up and we were like, hey girl, let's just do a catch up. We were both in a space where, you know, I had like a rough week. I just went to an event and I was feeling like, what do you call that thing? Imposter syndrome, worthiness stuff. And, she was coming back from a meeting and it didn't go the way that she wanted to go. So we were both in the same vibe. So we went to a hotel lobby. And when we got there, I don't know if it was my Crocs or what it was, but the lady's like, okay, you two can sit in like the corner. Like she gives like this tiny table in a corner with like people studying. And we're here to like laugh and like have a few cocktails. Like this is going to get loud. So then I called the lady, the manager ended up coming over and I said, this is not working. I said, you know what I mean? Politely. I wasn't rude. I just said, you know, like we're here to have a good time. Like, is there any other space like in the main area where we can just like vibe it out? And she moved us. And I said to Monica, I said, I wasn't going to say anything. Like, and we would have interrupted the people that were studying. But the point is that like little tiny thing that wasn't huge, instead of like playing it small and saying, okay, like this is like, you know, we're just like tone it down.
I don't want to bug her.
I don't want to bug her.
Yeah.
I don't want to take up too much space.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not giving me any space. So let me just take the space that they're giving. They put us on the main floor on a stage. They put us in like, you know, in a really great table
place.
where we can, in the rightful place. And that's when we started talking about like this pick me girl energy. You know, I went to a restaurant opening before and I was like, you know, I hate about myself that like when I go to these events, I feel like I have to make myself worthy of connecting with people. And it's like, you know, hi, I'm Allana Davis. Like, hi, how are you? And it's like, oh, like, yeah, like, oh, I just have like a small little, you know, facial studio in Yorkville and then blah, 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 blah. And like paying it really small and then leaving feeling empty and feeling like I can't like sit across the table from these people. And Monica had a similar experience. And I said, and then all of a sudden I'm like, we got pick me girl energy.
Yes.
And then we just started dissecting it and holding a mirror up to ourselves, but also because we have such a loving, honest relationship, we can hold that mirror up to each other and create that space. And that's when the conversation really started, I think for the both of us, you know, and especially for me where I was just started analyzing and I was like,
what did you find?
I started realizing that it took like, you know, I'm very quick at evolving. You know, there's this amazing Bollywood actress. Her name is Rekha. She's legendary. And she did an interview that I loved years ago. And the interviewer is her friend. And she was talking about like a thought. And she's like, I evolved. And she was like, yeah, but that was like a few days ago. And she's like, I evolved. Like I'm constantly evolving.
Yes.
So to answer your question, where did it come from or what started to ignite it was I started to have to like reflect and go back to all of the narratives that I told myself and really see where those came from, those limiting beliefs. Why don't I feel? Is it because majority of my life I grew up on welfare and in government housing? Yeah, a lot of that. But even in that, I felt like I lacked when I was in that space. You know, my life started to change in 2017.
Yes.
So that's when I got off welfare and moved out of housing. So for me, you know, this shit's new to me.
Yeah.
But when I sat with myself and I did a meditation that my amazing friend Cherie Spence actually guided me through. She's a phenomenal psychotherapist in Toronto. She was like, you have to sit with that lack energy. When did you feel that unworthiness? And I did a meditation, a visual meditation where I was sitting in that government housing and, you know, fighting them cockroaches and drug addicts and to get to my apartment.
Yeah.
And when I was sitting in there, I'm like, this place, my apartment was beautiful. The walls were like this beautiful orange, right? I had this thriving plant and the decor was beautiful. And I said, I didn't lack here.
No. And someone would kill to be in that spot.
Someone would kill to be in that spot. Oh my God, I was paying like $115 a month. Yeah. Like, I'm like, you know, times have changed.
Times have changed.
But thankfully, I was like, okay, so Locke didn't live there. So then I had to go back and I had to go back. And I started to realize that a lot of my lack energy and my worthiness came from my upbringing, you know, like just being on my own from a young age, and things that people would say, or when we're evolving, especially that space. And this is so important to me, is I realized that as I was evolving and things were changing and I was shifting my mindset of lack energy, I had to be very mindful of who I hung out with and who I had these conversations with, because I'm deep. I can't have casual conversations with my friends.
Yes.
I can't. So I had to reserve certain energy in certain conversation for people that can respect and create the space for me of constantly evolving. Even with my husband, you know, I've been with John for 15 years. Shout out to my husband. I love him so much. But he, as a man, and also as a Black man, had to evolve and release certain narratives that were placed on him through society, through upbringing, all of that stuff. So we had to do a lot of work. And the work doesn't stop. It's constantly changing. Yeah. But now I feel like when I walk into rooms, that pick-me girl ain't there. And she's...
Who's here now? Who's there now?
Allana Davis, a wiser person. But even coming here today, like, I'm not going to front. Like, I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, like, I've never done a podcast, but I drew it in because I'm like, I want more of this. You know what I mean? I want to be able to share my story. I want to be able to give access to people and, you know, my life experiences to people, especially girls that have lived in the shelter system or lived in government housing, on welfare, you know, single moms, all the people that like struggle to know that, you know, this is my story and this is my mindset change that has really helped me get to where I am going. You know what I mean? Constantly. So, you know, I had to visualize today, and my husband said to me, he's like, who are you doing this for? And I said, what do you mean? He's like, everything that you're nervous about is like about you. He's like, but if you're creating access for other people, who's this for? And then I'm like, I need to visualize that younger version of myself. Yeah. So right now, as we speak, my younger version is sitting in that chair and I'm looking at her and I'm like, she never thought that I would be in this position. So let me talk to her. Let me give her that energy to level her up.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely it does. Okay. And there are people out there who may believe that their situation is permanent.
Yeah, I did.
I did.
How are you going to get out of this? They hear your story and they see the aftergrowth, or they see the after product. Is that how you say the after product?
Or the results.
The results
of where you are now, but not what it took for you to get there.
Not what it took. And a lot of the people in my life, they, you know, except Monica, my friend Amber, like there's certain people that I still have, because again, as you grow, sometimes you have to, you know, some people just are not going to cut. Yeah, people are not going to be on the same journey as you. And it's no disrespect. It's just
no disrespect. It doesn't mean you hate them.
No, it doesn't make you feel that someone feels less than or more than. It just feels that thing about mindset, right? Is that when you start surrounding yourself around people that are on the same vibe and wavelength, when you start to grow and you're in a space of growing and evolving and releasing that lack energy, it can be a little lonely, right? So you have to like release that. But that loneliness is great because it just creates space for the right people.
Yeah. I feel that. I'm reaching this crossroad with quite a few people in my life. And that people pleaser energy I'm still harboring of like, oh, well, we don't think the same and we're not growing. Yeah. Our trajectory is a little off, but I can't say bye to them. Or,
I know.
It's been so long. Loyalty to time. Yeah. Which I'm shedding.
Loyalty to time.
Which is, you know.
It's insane because that you've changed from that time.
Exactly.
It's like, so that loyalty to time, but not the loyalty to ourselves. And people are like, some people might listen to that and be like, oh, that's selfish. But it's like, how? Like honestly, I think that being selfish is the biggest form of self-love and the biggest form of love that you can give to the people around you. Because when you are selfish, it just, you know, and you're using the selfishness for good to like create space and shed skin, you're going to help the people around you that also, you know.
Well, it's such again, an image of female, like the highest potential that we could reach is to be selfless and take care of everyone else before. Yeah. And, you know, I think the highest insult maybe is to call a woman selfish. Yeah. When I think it's revolutionary.
Yeah, it is.
Today.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yeah, it is.
To be selfish.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Create space. Be selfish. Like, don't be afraid to like look in the mirror and check yourself.
And what do you say to yourself when you look in the mirror?
Now?
Yeah.
I'm like, girl.
That high pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For real. That's what I say to myself. It's true, Amanda. Like, girl.
You say girl?
Girl for us means everything.
Yes.
Everything. Girl or say girl.
Girl.
Get it together.
Come on, girl.
Yeah. Dust that off.
You know?
Yeah.
Silent combo.
Yeah. Silent
Girl.
combo. It's like, those are my favorite scenes in like Insecure with Issa Rae.
Yeah.
Where she would be like cussing herself and like having a whole conversation in the mirror.
Right? Oh, you gonna do that?
Yeah.
You gonna let them do that to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
But then she's all professional.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, it's good. It's good.
Do you think beauty is necessary for success? Like, does that put you ahead in any industry?
I think so.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be real, yeah, I think so.
Being
And
real.
I don't think that it's like beauty in the terms of like
Pretty girl effect, you know?
No, I think it's like pretty girl energy.
Energy.
You know, I was talking to my homegirl Sue about that, and she was telling me about when she was in New York, and we were talking about lack energy and pick me girl energy. And I remember she was saying, she's like, you know, it's so powerful to release that. She's like, she was telling me a time when she was in New York at a meeting and she met this woman. She's like, you know, she was attractive.
Yeah.
She wasn't the most like quote unquote beautiful girl in the world, but like, you know, an attractive woman. She's like, but she was so attractive.
Yes.
And it was her energy and the way she carried herself.
Yes.
And I see it all the time. There's like some women that I meet that are, you know, I mean, listen, I think everyone's beautiful. Like I really do. Like, you know, so for me, I don't really look at that surface, but when I feel that like confidence and that like that self-love, and I know that they're taking care of themselves, it's so attractive. So I think, yeah, you can go really far with that. I think that whole bullshit of like you have to look a certain way and no.
But in this industry, even, yes, progress is being made. There are different types and bodies and faces out there. But to be commercially successful, does beauty matter?
I guess so.
I have even my own, like, I have colleagues who, I have this one who's like pretty close enough, I guess she feels comfortable to say this to me. But she thinks I'm self-sabotaging my career by not like dressing better. She's like, if you dress better, you would maybe have more opportunities as an actor. And there's a part of me that's like, fuck that, you know?
No, I know.
But another part of me that's like, damn, am I sabotaging my career?
You know what?
Tell me.
Maybe. Because
please,
we're talking about it from a space of it's like, fuck that, right?
Yeah.
Like we know that. But then it's like,
I'm choosing entertainment.
When in hell, do what the demons do.
Yeah.
Like
I
for
love
real.
that, yeah.
Like when in hell, do what the demons do. It's like, yeah, like I guess there is some truth to it. And I think that, yeah, there is, I do believe in it. Like, I mean, I am in the beauty industry. I do pride myself on taking care of myself and having healthy skin and looking good and aging gracefully and all those things.
Yeah.
But as sad as it to say, yeah, maybe there's some truth for it, especially for your industry, you know, from what you're telling me, then yeah. And I think that with the beauty standards that were placed on us, you know, now it's like everybody wants to look.
For real. Everybody's buying hips and lips.
Yeah. So now it's like when they see you, like I would never look at you and be like, oh shit, she needs to like, now I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, like she's sexy. Like she's an ethnic woman. Like, you know, the features that you have are like features that people are buying. Like it's such a messed up space.
But somehow, yeah, people can buy this.
Yeah.
Yet are held at a higher beauty standard than a black woman who owns these things naturally.
Sure. Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going to do my makeup a certain way to extend certain things. I'm going to, you know, do my lip liner a certain way to make my lips fuller. Like,
yeah.
You know, where do those standards come from? But I think that as I'm getting older and as I'm like stepping into my space, like,
yes,
when I decorate myself is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it from a different energy. So maybe do that.
Intentional. Yeah.
So if you feel like you want to change your style.
Well, this is part of the social experiment of this project. Is like, I'm going to be developing this persona.
Yeah.
This dancer, stripper persona.
Yeah.
Which is going to be hyper femme.
Yeah.
And to see what that effect is, what happens.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And with the trajectory to make it on the stage of Magic City, like I'm already dancing for Daddy, Allana. I'm an auditioning actor. I audition pretty consistently.
Wow.
I'm very lucky.
Yep.
In the sense that I get a chance, I get the privilege of showcasing my stuff for would-be casting and producers and directors. They are the daddies in whatever shape or form they take. They hold the opportunity, and I dance with them at least once a week, and I make no money.
Wow.
No money, hun.
No, babe.
So let me spend the next 2 years developing, 2 years or less, hun, developing this persona and make money in the now, in the present.
Yeah.
You can definitely be our beauty consultant. And
Hell yeah.
I'll come to you for...
Girl, I will bring a wad of cash for you.
Thank you. Make it rain, honey. But what does it mean? You know, I'm just excited and interested to explore what does happen when you change your image so drastically. And yes, it's for a project, but there'll be images out there of this aesthetic change.
Shit.
But it starts with mindset, right?
Yeah, it starts with mindset.
It doesn't matter how much you change the outside if you don't have the internal monologue to match.
Well, that's what we're seeing now, right? With like all these like people de-BBLing and de-breast implanting, you know what I mean? Which is sad because a lot of time it's causing health issues, right? People are getting explants from their breast implants because they're realizing that it's causing like internal issues. Like some people are having like lupus type symptoms. And then when they remove the implant, their body's like, okay, there's not a foreign object in it anymore. And a lot of people are like losing that like ant shape BBL and going for more natural. And it's like, it's all shifting. Yeah. I think that the beauty standards are going to come back around to normal.
What's that?
Elevated.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, our standard of beauty.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like what
women of color, people of color. Yeah.
Which, like, I think that we're the most beautiful women. I think that's what I think that when you're constantly imitated and replicated, there's something there.
But it's like imitated and replicated while at the same time telling this group, you're ugly, you're unworthy, nobody loves you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take all the features that I do like about you and monetize, capitalize, commercialize.
Yeah. And my industry is the culprit.
Yeah.
It is.
How do you reconcile that?
By my melanin. And when I started my melanin, you know, when I was looking at the skincare, even for myself, I had you know, really bad acne. And when I was getting treatments done, nothing was working. Like I would go to people that didn't understand my skin because I pigment differently. I break out differently. And when you have melanin, when you have a breakout, you're going to be left with scarring. You're going to be left with pigmentation, hyperpigmentation. So when I was looking at the product lines that I need to bring in, I was like, okay, this is a very curated list. And when people were coming to me, especially women of color, they were like, I've been spending so much money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and nothing's working. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? As far as we've come, like, I mean, you know, now I think, you know, certain makeup brands have like more than like 3 shades of foundation. Yes. I'm like, let's do this in the skincare. And when I started my melanin, I was scared. Oh my God, I called Monica. I said, should I say this? Can I say this? Like, can I use this verbiage? Can I call myself a woman of color? Girl, that's fucked, right?
Really?
Yes. I was like, should I say as a woman of color, like, should I put this on my website? And she's like, yes. I called Monica. I called my other client that worked for like a producer for CBS. I called like all these people in media because you guys know what's appropriate. So I'm like, you know, how do I, you know, put this in writing where it will translate and it will connect. And since I put my melanin up, like, it's been such a safe space again for women of color to come in and get their beauty treatments done and know that they're working with someone that understands their skin.
And you've been in the business over 20 years.
Yeah.
And you must have seen in that
All
time
of it.
all the things that need to get torn down and rebuilt.
Even when I was, I started off as a hair and makeup artist, like on editorial stuff a lot more. And
Wow.
one of my friends, Shawnee, like I remember when I first did her hair on set and I curled it. And I curled it with a wand and, I did my thing. She's like, do you know how rare it is to find someone that can curl my hair?
It's so rare.
I'm like, this is like, it's insane to me. I did, even when I went to hair school, like, and I got out, the second salon I worked at was a black hair salon. And the owner is like, okay, I want you to blow her hair because I'm gonna press it out.
Yeah.
And I took out a round brush. Girl, everybody laughed at me. He's like, you need a paddle brush.
Yeah.
This is how you blow out black hair. It was not taught.
Of course.
And that was the best learning lesson. So when I have like young people message me that are in the beauty space and they're like, do you have any advice? I'm like, work at a black hair salon.
Yes.
Because if you can do black hair and curly hair, you can do any hair. And the style will last like weeks longer. Because when you're doing like my hair texture or white hair, if I'm styling it how I would style black hair or curly hair, it's gonna last so much longer because that wrist flick.
The flick,
right?
Real.
That Marcel oven, honey.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
And it is huge, even in entertainment, that there are heads of department, heads of hair department who've been working 30 plus years and don't know how to do a black person's
sad.
hair, and yet have somehow maintained their position as a head of department.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're telling people upcoming now, get this education, you'll be able to do anybody's hair.
Yeah. And also people that are like in, one of my clients got a great job with a design house.
Yeah.
And she's a woman of color. And I said to her, create access. I said, you're in this. And she's like, noticing things. And I said, create access. Because now they're understanding the power of our voice, even though we're not going to get like full credit. Like, let's be real, but whatever. They want the voice. Because remember during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
Of course.
All of the black models were getting booked and everyone had
every
it
commercial
was
had black
disgusting.
It was so disgusting.
I was like, this is so exploitive.
But
like, it's crazy.
I also had two minds of it. I was like, okay, you're giving these people we're getting opportunity.
Time. Yeah.
But also, is there agency in that?
Yeah.
They're using our face.
Yeah.
But we have no control.
Yeah.
We're not at tables, decision making.
That's why it's so important to create access. That's why investing in companies and financial security and diversifying our portfolio, especially as businesswomen, is so important. When I invested in Green Owl Vodka, this is the second round of Green Owl Vodka, Carmen Sandor in Toronto, she's like, I'm starting this vodka company. And, obviously there's a lot before you invest in a company. But I was like, I want to invest. And now I see it evolving into like High Pony. And I'm like, this is phenomenal. This is how you diversify your portfolio, like learning your stock portfolio, learning how to invest properly, all of the things. Like, that's why it's so important, because through that we can also create access, right? So it's like everything that we're doing, like even what you're doing with this podcast, is going to give people opportunity, and things are going to start coming your way, and like financial opportunities are going to start coming your way. And as you build that, because we really understand the struggle, and we ain't going to get rich and switch.
That's it.
We're not that.
Get rich and switch.
We're going to be creating stuff.
Yeah. This is as unfiltered as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Like, this is independent. It's the three of us.
Yeah.
And we want to get to the core of the truth of this.
Yeah.
Like, what does it take? What does it take to maintain and even develop a growth mindset? What does it take to switch from that feeling of my situation is permanent, I want to evolve from this. Lack. I want to get out of this space.
It becomes easier. So when Monica and I had that conversation and that realization of the pick me girl energy.
Yeah.
Again, you know where it starts?
Tell me.
You can't be scared to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
People will see things about themselves and then be so fucking scared and be like, you know what? That's too heavy for me to unpack. So let me go back to where it's comfort, which is usually lack or usually victim.
Yeah.
you have to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think I was saying this to my niece the other day, because she's a young woman, Kanice.
Yeah.
She's 17 years old and she's brilliant. She's different. As an Indian auntie, I didn't always respect it because sometimes she can be a little thick in the throat.
Yeah.
But now, I don't have to cuss her and be like, little girl. But
Watch it.
now I'm starting to get to know her on a different level. And she's actually teaching me a lot. She's teaching me that if you can hone your power
Wow.
and not let all the emotions and the thoughts and get out of being comfortable, because usually we're comfortable with what's easy. It's the way that you can evolve so quickly.
Yeah.
And that's the part of it that I'm realizing is that I'm not scared to look in the mirror constantly. I'm not scared to be uncomfortable with myself. And I'm realizing that even though because when those shifts happen, it's draining. I went through a shift a couple of weeks ago and it took me like a week and I felt depressed. I felt that all the lack energy that I was pushing
back?
aside. Yeah, it came, but it came back as not a version of myself. So that's another part, recognizing that this is not my reality. That's just an emotion.
Yeah.
That's not truly who I am. So when it started to come back, I was sitting with it and breaking it down. And now I visualize it. I turn it into something. I turn it into a person. I turn it into a dot. I turn my anxiety into a blob.
Yeah.
So when I'm closing my eyes and meditating and I'm feeling anxious.
What's something that recently came up for you? What was the thing that brought you back to this place of lack? I'd like to hear the concrete.
This interview.
This interview?
Yeah. Because this is because I was I want to, like I said earlier, I'm asking the universe for more opportunities to share and try to
wisdom.
help with what I can share.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? If it's anything, but all that worthiness stuff came up. And I'm like, am I worthy? Why should I have a voice?
Yeah.
How can I be impactful?
Yeah.
And then all the pressure of it. And that's when I realized no, focus on the growth and focus on where you're at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had the same thought starting this project.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, I went to Magic City earlier this year and saw the glory and the divinity of these dancers before me. And I came to Monica and was like, Monica, I went to this club. Have you heard of Magic City? It's so amazing. And can you imagine this little Canadian actor who goes there and becomes a Magic City stripper?
Yes.
And I meant it half joke, half this would be a funny series. And she was like, let's do it.
Of course, Monica said,
I know, right? She's like, I love it. Let's go. And I'm like,
she's different though.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, no. And then I tried to avoid Monica for a bit.
Yeah, of
and,
course. Of course.
Then I was like,
You're like, oh, my phone.
I'm busy.
Yeah. I didn't pay my phone bill.
Exactly. Meanwhile, I'm working out next door.
Yeah.
And I was crying to her, this is stupid. Why do you even want to do this? And I don't know where to start. And who am I to take this on?
Yeah.
And all of that. So much fear, so much shame.
Fuck.
Right?
It's a lot. It's constant.
It's constant.
Girl, it is constant. It is constant.
And since this first conversation, Monica has been full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, let's incorporate this. Here are these ideas. Let's have a conversation for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be afraid of it anymore.
No.
She made these she made the poster for our podcast and sent she's like, I was fooling around. Here's some examples. And I was like, this is making me sick.
Yeah.
I can't look at this. I can't take that space.
No.
I don't feel comfortable taking this position of power, being the center.
See, when you were saying it,
yeah.
I didn't view you that way. I thought when you were going to say I didn't want to take this space, I thought you were going to say, I don't want to take the space of lack and fear.
Well, I don't want that either.
No. But
And
it's funny, as an outsider looking in, that's where I see you. And as someone that wouldn't want to take a space of lack and fear.
No.
Isn't it sick?
But
The self-sabotaging?
constant. Constant.
And it's like, where are these narratives coming from? Because no one's saying that to us. And even if they did, like, who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck?
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Like, for real, fuck that.
For real.
Girl,
no
go
more
get-
pick me energy.
No. Bitch, go get a blood. Let's turn this podcast into some real shit.
We are. And you
that.
are a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having
Your
me.
wisdom
This was
is
great.
important.
Thank you.
And people are going to hear this and see you.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. And you
Yeah.
are a beacon. You're laying bricks down for people after you.
Yes. And shout out to all the young girls in the women shelters.
Yeah.
And in government housing and all the single moms and all the people that are trying to get out of their situations. You can fucking do it.
You can do
It's
it.
hard. It's hard. It's not no joke. But cut that lack energy.
Anything else you want to plug for our audience? Even for you?
Shout out to AllanaDavisStudio.com.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to come back on this couch and give you an update. And I'm excited to go to Magic City with you. I want to see
You're
your Magic
coming?
City walk. Do you have a walk yet?
Oh, it's going to be developed and
Ooh.
it's, it's coming.
Oh shit. Oh Lord. It can stretch. Oh.
Hold on.
Damn.
That's natural.
Girl. She moves.
She moves.
Oh my God. Yes.
That's right. Supplement that artistic career.
I want to see it in a maxi skirt.
Definitely. Honey, you're going to see it in a thong, honey.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. Fishnets.
Yes. Yes.
Put her to work.
Pony up.
Pony up. All Roads Lead to Magic City with Amanda Cordner is produced by Clark Park Films, Monica Mustelier, and Stephanie Cowan, and is sponsored by Little Havana Cafe. The show is executive produced by Amanda Cordner and directed by Monica Mustelier and lighting design by Stephen Elphick. Thank you so much for listening. Please join me next week for another episode of All Roads Lead to Magic City. Follow us on all the socials at All Roads Lead to Magic City.